Hi, I'm Neil Hunt. I'm the content lead of Connect 365 and TV Connect. I'm here with Matt Stagg, People's Choice winner and head of mobile video at EE. Matt, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So Matt, been a interesting couple of days here. What's been your kind of the main things you've been discussing?
So we're really interested in understanding consumer behaviour. I think we've taken it back a little step to say, actually, what are people doing? When are they doing it? Why are they doing it? And how can we then evolve the technology to meet those requirements?
And so, we've heard a lot about kind of that user-centric behaviour. We heard Turner yesterday talking about putting the user first and being driven. How much of an influence, is the consumer now? And we talk about millennials and youth audience a lot, but how are you finding it?
And we're seeing loads of different behaviour, and so we've focused. So one of my focus has been live events. So we founded with KT, Telstra, and Verizon the LT Broadcast Alliance, which is great for live sports. But it's actually some of the other behaviour that we're seeing as the TV and content industry changes. So does the consumer behaviour, and I think having an understanding of that at a really granular level helps us to get the technology right and plan in new technologies to be able to serve those, basically so our customer gets the best experience whenever they are, wherever they are.
And you talk about, kind of OTT, events that happen, so things like the Grand Tour and things like that. So how does that affect how you deliver content?
Well, that's a really interesting phenomenon that we've just got, because we used a capacity plan for video on demand. That's fine. Mobile networks are great. We have some fantastic guys on capacity planning, looking at how different tariffs drive consumer behaviour, and we understand. So VOD was on there, and we knew it was driving it. We have the global forecast is 70% of mobile networks will be carrying video by 2020. But what we didn't see was the new, what we call it appointment to view VOD, or almost like real-time VOD, where something like the Grand Tour, and I'm giving a talk later on, and I've got a slide on that, it's video on demand, but everybody demands it at the same time when it's released, and a number of things drive that. The interaction, the social media, they say Twitter is the sofa of the current generation, because people still want to be watching stuff personally, but they also want to share. So there's that, and there's spoilers with other things, when Game of Thrones comes out, etc. So there is something that we actually need to look at how we do that. One of the ideas that we're looking at is, could we in the future, could we carousel it? Could we start and broadcast it, maybe with LT broadcast, every 5 minutes, and to ensure that we get the best consumer experience. And I think one of the big things that people don't talk about, and I mean maybe it's TV Connect, is a lot of people who aren't watching video, and they're our customers as well. And we really need to make sure that the experience of somebody when they're buying something on the internet or something like that is just as good as somebody who's having experience. There's almost less tolerance of slow browsing speed than there is of maybe a slight step down from high definition standard definition, and I think that gets lost in the sort of video tsunami discussions that we have, and we have to remember that it's internet access, not just video access.
Okay. Now, obviously, on the back of that, we've got 5G on the horizon, promising everything. But how does that fit in with kind of content delivery, and what are the challenges there?
But that's quite interesting. I've started to sort of socialise in the industry. 5G at the moment is gathering requirements for what we call the verticals. So we understand from the automotive industry that we need very low latency, autonomous cars, driver-assisted cars. But I guess TV and media and entertainment has kind of not been represented, and we need to pull media and entertainment into its own vertical. What are the requirements? We need to have convergence across all platforms, across all delivery mechanisms, and 5G is a great start for that, because we have the ability now to say, okay, I work in this, we need this contribution mechanisms. You know, we have to remember that there's multiple contributions, and we're not just talking, you pull out outside broadcast into that. User-generated content, there's loads more upload. I mean, we're streaming this on Periscope. There's a future of digital terrestrial that we need to discuss, and if that's going to be replaced by anything, then the opportunity is to get those requirements in, because if we don't, then 5G won't be built to support all of that. And you know, now's the time. It's like building a whole new distribution mechanism for TV and video.
And how does that fit from the consumer arm? You know, I mean, at the moment I've got a major provider's set-top box in my house. I've got a satellite on my wall. I've got IPTV streaming my Netflix, my Amazon. Where does 5G fit into that?
There's no reason, and I take a very elevated view of it. I don't care how stuff's delivered as a consumer, but if you look at how, if you go into your house, you have spectrum used for BBC is there. You have spectrum on your Wi-Fi, and you have those, and you have fixed delivery, and you have mobile delivery, and you have 4G delivery. It seems wasteful, because all I want to do is watch it on whichever device. So what we should be looking at as we move forward is what's the best way of delivering the experience that the consumer wants in the most efficient way, so that they get the best experience, but also as a general industry, we need to lower the costs. You know, if you think about the production costs of delivering across all of those mediums, I think we'd be missing a trick if we didn't look at 5G as a great opportunity to converge media and entertainment.
Brilliant. And now, we're all as head of content at EE. How much does that kind of mobile device affect how you produce content, if you were talking to content producers, how would you be kind of saying, well, this is how you need to serve mobile?
I think it's an evolving medium, and I was on a panel with Daisy from Hopster, and talking about how the preschool age, what they're doing. I think we don't necessarily need the production companies and the movie houses don't need a mobile first strategy. They need to understand that there's a great opportunity to augment the experience that you have anywhere. If we look at traditional TV, I mean, for the young people, the TV in the box isn't the main consumption mechanism, and as things go on, it never will be. I certainly know that my children watch what they want on their devices, and in fact. We were talking, and it's quite interesting because we almost use the TV as a punishment for our children. It's like, you're going to have to sit down and watch TV now. If you don't behave, you can't have tech. So the consumption mechanisms are moving, but we really need to get that, to use the mobile device and its personality and its connection to the user to augment any experience. I see when I watch my kids and I look in the industry and I see things evolving, it's almost like the TV becomes I guess almost a cinematic experience. You sit down in a family and you say, okay, now we're going to watch this, and then during the day, people are watching whatever they want on their TV, but there's no reason that you can't have the TV on with a companion device.
Okay, and then I suppose looking forward, where do you see it in kind of it's the kind of, everyone talks about what it's going to look like in 2021, so in 5 years' time, well, 4 years' time now, and beyond.
I think I still think there's a lot of mileage in linear. I mean, we know live will always be live. I think I see an opportunity to get the best experience from the medium that you're using. So if you're watching something on a mobile device, let's not just put what's on the TV on that device. You know, it's almost, I know it's almost lazy, because you have so much more capability, both from a consumer behaviour, but also, you know, you had that feedback loop that you don't have in TV. You can really, you know, you can make stuff, you know, better than TV. If you want to watch it on your mobile, you know, it's a smaller screen, but people want to watch it on there. But let's make it better. You know, let's say, well, if someone's watching it on a mobile device, we have all these capabilities that we don't have on TV. So let's augment that experience, and not just mimic what you can get on the box in the corner.
Brilliant. And finally, Matt, you won the inaugural People's Choice Award last night at TV Connect, and we might be showing that video later.
Oh.
But how have you enjoyed your TV Connect this year?
It's been really good. It's been, I think, one of the things I'm big on is convergence, and I think now is people aren't talking about mobile and TV. It's a consumer experience. It's, you know, it's storytelling, which is all the content producers want to do, and it's storytelling, and it just happens that there's a distribution mechanism, and people want to watch it in the way they want to watch it. And I'm really happy with that. That it's not just a great divide. I think probably the first time I got into video from a mobile perspective, it was kind of, this is coming, can you go and have a look? And came into TV Connect probably about 4 years ago, and sort of said, what do you guys in the IPTV world do to make sure it's all great? And it was kind of, we don't really do anything, we pass it to them. And I said, mobile operators can't work like that. So we've got the same customer, so let's get together, even if it's just a knowledge sharing. And that's where we founded the Mobile Video Alliance, which now sits in the Digital TV Group, which does just that. You know, it's understanding from a content production, almost glass to glass. Yeah.
Brilliant. Matt, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.